What inspired you at first to get into wrestling, or whether it be grappling or wrestling or anything? Because obviously, an insane amount of training goes into what you do, and the way, like, I mean, your transitions are seamless. Like there's a lot to love about what you do. What made you say, okay, that's what I'm gonna do?
I've always liked martial arts and combat sports. Like I grew up watching kung fu movies and things like that. And I'm an artist too. And I felt like pro wrestling was the best way for me to be an athlete and an artist. You have UFC, but I feel like they're kind of, or just all MMA. They're kind of, I don't want to say pigeonholed, but they're limited for what their creativity can be. And pro wrestling, I feel like you have a lot more open space to work with than being yourself most of the time. So it just fit the best for me. And then when I was channel surfing when I was 11 and 12 years old and I found Friday Night SmackDown,
Hmm.
I kind of got hooked on it immediately. And from then on, I just been obsessed with it. And it didn't take me long to realize that's what I wanted to do. Probably wasn't even a month into watching wrestling.
Did you approach like catch wrestling or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or anything like that? Because if I was just walking up and watching my first Lee Moriarty match, I'd be like, oh, he's a transplant from amateur wrestling or catch as catch can wrestling or Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
The only thing I ever did was Taekwondo for a few months because that was like a thing for my family to keep me
Sure.
off the streets in the neighborhood I grew up in. I did amateur wrestling in our strength and training classes in high school, but it wasn't actually training with like the actual, what is it, the actual team and all that.
Yeah.
I just did it for fun. And I just studied a lot of grappling and catch wrestling and things like that to use in my style. It's not something I was formally trained in. I just study a lot of YouTube videos and I practice it at training.
Did you find that Taekwondo would help you eventually? Because, like, I know Ethan Page is running the Karate Man gimmick, and a lot of people thought he was joking around until he threw his kicks, and then he tells me, "Oh yeah, I was a black belt in Taekwondo."
Mm. It helped me a lot, I think, for footwork and timing certain things. It's kind of hard because the way you kick in pro wrestling and you kick in Taekwondo is a little bit different. Like I kind of have to be careful with the way I kick,
Yeah.
but it definitely helped me a lot with that stuff, like footworks and all that, which I think helps me move the way I do.
Yeah, footwork is, especially when you get into MMA or any striking art, learning to not cross your feet, little things like that. I mean, that seems like it
Yeah.
goes an awful long way.